Hey guys, what's up? You're back for another episode of Save Us You Presents Mulu Murai, a show about what's happened, what's happening, and what will happen in the Malaysian creative arts industry. This is, I think I missed out 1 week last week for another episode because you guys all know why, because of the MCO and whatnot. And yeah, so I've had a bunch of people scheduled and I just keep double and triple texting them to be on the show, and it just never works out because it's just a travel issue and people don't really want to go around. So luckily, my guests today live around the area. Izzad, a producer and potential future artist in his own right. If you guys have ever heard a lot of the hip hop songs nowadays with his producer tag, Izzad on the beat. And also with him, I have a recurring guest. He's been here before. Prod by What's Good, aka Garamasam, aka Bakhtiar. And they do both live in the area, so they don't need a surat to travel.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just to get the business and shit out of the way, like I always do, thank you for supporting us. And I think we've gotten a steady stream of donations. Honestly, I don't think there have been any week or episode that we haven't gotten direct donations from. So it's really good to see that you guys are still supporting us despite the potential hardships of not being able to go out and do your business and whatnot. Thank you for that. And if you guys do want to support us and see what comes out of Safe House Presents Mulu Murai and what comes out of Safe House, there is a donation link in the bio of the Instagram account and also Safe House Instagram account. So welcome Izzad and Baq.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Throughout the MCO.
Bosan.
MCO macam starting to affect lah. Yeah.
What? The mental?
Yeah, the mental.
Ya doh, aku bosan gila dekat rumah.
Bosan gila.
So that's why I wanted to actually I want to make the podcast happen because it's a reason for me to hang out with people lah. Kalau tak aku di rumah memang tak buat apa. Yeah, so we had a lengthy, I think around 2-hour talk just now about Bakhtiar's billion-dollar project, and I don't think I want to leak it. Got to leak anywhere there? You haven't officially announced it as being an idea.
Not
yet.
explicitly says that is, I mean, the thing that aku post.
Yeah.
It's about the $1 billion project. Tapi,
but it's on the website also, right?
It's on the website. It's
What's the website?
bare.
We're not plugging it because it's not
Jangan lupa
fully
layari
fledged out.
kronislatan.club. Nothing is finished, but you get the idea.
It's both in English and Malay, so you don't have to feel intimidated by the barriers of language. But it's an interesting project that I don't totally agree with, but they have my moral support. Betul.
Thank you.
It's also not just Bucks. I guess it's a 01 Lebuh. What is it? Is it a group? Is it an organization? Or is it just yourself sebenarnya?
I try not to let it concentrate it to myself, but then I think my friends and my peers believe in that idea. So let's just say it's a collective effort lah.
Okay, so you and your peers is what? 0108 lah?
Yeah, 0108.
Last episode I was talking to Osniel and then we both kind of had the same agreement. Kalau kita ada hypothetical festival that we throw, we would have a headliner as 0108 lah. So I think you guys definitely have set the standard for which I want the conversation today to be mostly about. It's just independent music and musician in Malaysia and really establishing your fan base as legit super fans, people who betul-betul understand the movement and betul-betul just fuck with everything and anything you guys put out. You guys feel like that so far? But let me correct this also, just for that clarification for everyone's sake. Izzad is also in 0108. Is it not?
I would say macam all these collectives and aku ada always related to them lah. So for example macam TT 0108, I've been friends with them since 2017, 2016. So macam I would say macam I'm working with my friends instead of collective, you know.
Right.
As for now, macam my project will be with 0108. Yeah.
So technically you're still there lah. You're in it lah.
Yeah. Technically.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about with Othnia lah. Like, okay, because what I see for 0108 is just like the immense tak tahu nak cakap, the movement lah, you know, like being able to mobilize fans into like a legitimate fan base that can really support regardless of music and regardless of which artist it is, and it's just a collective push. Earlier also I talked to Ready Rocket dengan Luna Dira about their beginnings in collectives, and Ready Rocket started off with, I don't know if you guys know Akela, electronic music group, heavily on bass music, and Luna Dira started with Lost Fellas. I don't know if you guys know Lost Fellas,
No.
which is definitely more in the hip hop realm. There was Hooks and there was
very
Lost
surprising.
Fellas. But we were talking about the importance of the collective lah. You know, like how it kind of directs what you can make with your craft. And kau ada designer seorang, and kau ada music video person seorang, you have manager, and everybody works with each other without really having to work with other people.
Yeah.
Is that the case with you guys, with like both 0108 and TT on the Move? And before that you were at XYX also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did it really like give you the opportunity to not really have to work with other people, but like focus on yourselves and what you guys can do for each other's art?
I mean, I think it's like a progress. Like since I started in 2017, kita orang buat this one collective, producer collective called XYX Class of Sound.
Dulu pun
Yeah.
Izzad invite aku masuk XYX Collective.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
I
It was after Baq Chow from 40K Music.
Kau caw?
It's like, huh?
Kau caw? I thought there was more to it. Okay.
Okay, so like later on macam, you know, we started as friends. Itu pun like first time I kenal Baq from In It Minute.
Yeah.
It was the tribute to Lil Peep punya event, and then the next day tiba-tiba I saw him dekat this one mamak near Shah Alam. So macam it's a coincidence, yeah. And then like start situ I like, Baq jom lah like hang out, do music and shit, cause like we know we share the same passion. So like start from there, kita orang like boleh nampak the organic growth throughout the years.
Yeah.
From 2017 till now. Like Baq dia start dia punya 0108, and then I like work around as a producer, especially dengan TT on the Move. And then blah 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 blah. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, my question mostly was more about just like exploring the artistry in being a collective lah. Macam, did you evolve from just being a producer into becoming something else? As like macam tadi I said that you're going to like, you know, release a project of your own as an artist, and then being able to work with people that you as a collective, macam contoh, someone can do the job of the photographer, someone can do the job as the designer, someone can do the job as like complementing each other's skill set, so that you don't have to depend on a corporate label to like really provide you those things.
Like in a collective, it depends. Macam there's always someone yang QC in a collective. So like kalau dalam collective ni, we have to the potential untuk create your own stuff is there, but you have to focus more on the collective itself.
The direction of the collective.
Yes, kena
Faham.
tahu everyone punya idea.
Yeah.
So from there kita akan like start to work out like in the middle,
Yeah.
where everyone akan agree with it.
Meet halfway.
Yeah, meet halfway.
I think for me that seems a little bit more of like a limitation
Yeah.
and potential conflict.
Yes.
I think that also okay, that's good. Sebab dalam the episode with Jimmy and Dira, kita orang were talking about like the positive sides of it, like the positive impacts of collectives, how we learn and grew from it. Tapi I'm guessing looking back at it now, the reason why Akila and like Hoax and now I'm going to talk about TT no longer around. It's probably because of the internal conflict of what they want the art to end up being as a collective or as personally. Betul.
Because
Yeah.
I think masa kalau aku ingat dulu you said about Hoax, it's not about collective, being a collective, is it?
Yeah.
It's about macam some kind of force, creative force kan.
Yeah.
Macam empowering the creatives. So you create Hoax untuk macam provide a medium untuk empower these people to just explore themselves
Yeah.
without being limited ataupun kena follow Hoax punya vision.
Yeah.
But in the end it turns out to be
Yeah.
to be macam collective because I mean
It will at the end of the day converge into one singular thing and
Kan.
sebab regardless of how different the people are, kalau the initial or like the direction and the attitude of everyone is like the same, more or less it will end up sounding the same lah, or like being similar in vibe.
I mean like if people yang betul-betul into the music scene, they will know how to like differentiate.
Yeah.
carry themselves.
Yes, but like neutral people like listeners and all, they can like picture it as a collective, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
As a group lah,
As a
like a
group.
big band kan.
Yeah.
Sebab tu like for me like IC 0118 macam tu juga. And TT definitely, you know. And you know what's more for Spark Boys. No disrespect but like that is definitely how I see them, you know, like susah for me to disassociate one artist from another even though I'm listening to like different artists. Macam I still think okay, at the end of the day they're like the cypher cool hip hop group, you know.
Yeah, because I think my opinion because diorang focus more on Force Park Boys punya product instead of like going individual, like okay,
Promoting each other's product, you mean?
yeah, like for example in FPB they have like Nakal, they have Cik, they have Laws,
Yeah.
but they all put their own product, tapi diorang lagi focus more on FPB, you know,
Putting
because
the
it's
brand in front.
yes. Like Slatan, we don't really have songs together because
but the vibe is there.
the vibe is there
The
because
vibe is damn similar.
yeah, the vibe is similar. Tapi like each of the artists tu, the individual artists tu, they put out their own songs sendiri, you know. But it's under Slatan. Yeah. Same goes to TT. TT macam okay.
That one also I feel a little bit like Force Park Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put a song as TT on the move, but we already know that diorang ada individual artists as well because there's limitation to it, you know.
Yeah.
As a collective macam tu lah.
So what happened? So what's the conflict like? I guessing like betul lah. Like it's usually the same kind of story. Macam Odd Future, for example, and they used to be like the biggest, let's say, like group / collective in the world at one point, in music scene at least at one point. Brockhampton is nearing that level. Tapi Odd Future is fucking crazy level because they have the merch and the lifestyle and the aesthetic attached to the group, you know. So they used to be so big and so influential that like the second where it kind of macam, they never officially disbanded and anything, but at the moment where like one artist starts to do their own thing and then another artist starts to do another, it's like
People start to speculate.
it breaks apart and people kind of realize, oh, it's because they don't want that aesthetic or that direction of the collective anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it happens for a lot of groups because people just end up wanting to do different things.
True.
I think that's the end of Hoax also because that's what happened. And is it also because of what happened with TT? Because disclaimer, TT on the Move broke out. They officially broke out like last week or something. Online.
Online MCO. Yeah.
I think they officiate the disband
Man.
dekat Instagram and also Twitter.
I mean, it was a dramatic event. It was also all over the place. And this podcast, I'm just having my friends over and I just want to talk about the little drama and gossip because also it gets my viewership up. So thank you for watching because of this drama. I know kita kan korek sikit. But yeah, tell us a little bit what happened and why.
Okay, first of all, masa diorang announce TT disband,
Siapa diorang?
TT members lah of course.
Ah.
Dekat the TT official Instagram, diorang announce, and tulang kata punya Instagram, diorang announce TT disband. And aku tak tahu anything about it, and then aku just tahu by looking at the story. Faham tak?
Sucks.
Yeah, that sucks because I left the group long time ago because yeah, because I think macam
So you weren't part of TT lah by then.
I was a part of Tas, which is before TT. So Tas is basically the day one punya people, and then like TT is when they wanna go further into the music industry. So like macam dulu Tas they ada like a lot of members. Like for example, we have choir dulu semua, but
Right.
I think bila jalan dah tak sehala, it's better to chow, you know, because you want to do stuff on your own, you prefer your own direction. So dekat situ, I think what diorang vision TT is like the best is to just disband, because like semua orang nak buat benda yang diorang nak, you know.
Was there a limitation? Like, is there anything that kind of stopped people, certain artists, to doing things that they wanted? Or is it more like macam, because I will get there, but like that you guys did end up becoming a little on the forefront of like getting signed, and I don't know the details of it lah, but did that pressure of becoming betul-betul like a legitimate full-fledged artist affect the direction?
A lot. Yeah. We had the chemistry of becoming a TT on the Move as a collective, as a, I would say, rap group yang successful.
Yeah.
But when kita like keep on growing, dia ada like halangan, you know, like some members dapat offer ni, and then some other dapat offer ni. So dekat situ like opportunities lah, like
Right.
yeah,
Sign individually, right?
yeah, individually. And then when
But that also happened with K-Click also, right? They're all signed
Yeah.
different labels, and yeah.
they do, but they still remain as K-Click.
Because as K-Click, they also signed to something else.
Yeah.
As a band, they're signed to one thing, and then
Begging bags.
individually they're signed to another thing.
Yeah, and that's when like TT dah macam tak sehala lah, you know, like when you see someone like jadi bigger, and then like dah start naik kepala and shit, you know.
Serious ah?
In my perspective, I see things like that lah in TT. So that's why I decided to chow from TT, because I don't even think that I'm a member of it, because I don't rap. Yeah, I just work with them, and I used to stay with them, and I'm close to them. Like we're still friends, but
Tapi tu lah, I thought the group also, I mean as a collective, I thought it was more than just rappers. I thought there were like other artists involved.
yeah, but
They macam focus a bit too much on one thing
no, it's because when nak naik mainstream kan, there'll be money involved, you know, and everyone kat situ, they want to eat. Okay.
So I'm just like macam imagining and hearing the stories. Macam it's like the typical cliche
Yeah, it is cliche.
breakup story.
Yeah, it is cliche, but it's true.
Okay.
Because at first I thought like things like that won't
Actually happen
actually it will happen, but I don't think
boleh control.
Yes, I think we can control because our bonding dari like
kau dah
day
faham
one,
lah.
dah faham each other semua. But bila opportunity semua datang, we can already see like dia tak feel the same anymore, you know.
Okay.
So that's when I chow.
Right. Sebab I mean I don't know what kind of opportunities these things are lah, because don't really want to get into it. I'm assuming some singles or something signed or whatever the fuck. Tapi it's just like I feel like you guys put in a lot of attention into what the group could have been and what the group should be instead of like the success of all.
Yeah. But
And
overall, I appreciate them. You know, like I appreciate that I've been part of TT because diorang yang like keep me going. You know, so like things happen and like each of us like keep on going lah.
yeah.
But different direction lah, I guess.
Okay, so I guess like I don't want to quote it anymore because it seems like you're holding back on the details also.
Tak ada hal, tak ada hal.
Then name some names lah. Cakap Clouds nak buat ni, Tulang nak buat ni.
No, I'm not gonna say any names, but kalau you wanna ask anything, just ask. I'm super chill.
I'm okay. I mean, okay lah. It's good to see people becoming successful over music in the first place. Like it's rare that you see kids who just like make music with each other dekat Menara U or wherever the fuck you guys were and just like getting together and really like, you know, breaking barriers with independent music, you know, and you and initially with Amas and like
Menara you best though.
apa
The day aku kenal Izzad and then they invited me to Menara U.
Yeah.
The tempat was dodgy as fuck.
Menara U memang notorious though, Doji.
I went there and then kalau kata first single record kat sana, track SPD lah with AP dengan Gad semua. And then that was the time when this particular dude is this dude memang I can get along with long time ah. Macam I brought AP dengan I invite AP dengan Gad and they all get along together and eventually dapat create a product yang aku dengan Gad usually buat.
Yeah.
And it can happen. Then I think this is the way lah, the way to do things.
Yeah. Yelah, macam in a more relaxed setting where you can really
yes.
I mean the
Very,
ideal
very.
setting lah, macam to be creative just with your friends and who you really understand.
Yeah, during the recording process, it was just all fun because fun fact though, like we recorded SPD without a pop filter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kita orang like sarung stokin dekat mic and then like
Stokin tu kalau kelabu Saya tahu stokin siapa.
So you guys started like that with TT also lah kan? It's the same situation dekat sana juga.
yeah, but the intensity like
It's more intense dengan orang.
it's more intense with TT because we have a blueprint and with Baq, Gad semua kita orang macam laid back, relax and like you know have fun, make music.
Yeah.
Because like 3-4 years back, like we all started without knowing yang like it will even generate money pun from it, you know. So it was all fun back then. But bila dah start go with TT,
Yeah, but that's the thing though, like when I talk to Baq and then it doesn't seem like it, but like we all know he's gotten paid. Because at the degree that like God was good has gotten, like it's all like Kwai, you know, both of these guys level macam it's becoming obvious that okay, at least they're getting some kind of payment from the streams and stuff like that, and they're still able to go out and act macam not so pressured by seeing it as a career. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's affecting the work that they are doing. But for TT, I don't know, because maybe the benchmark macam lain sikit kot. Like the fans or the market that you guys were attracting, your listeners were a little bit more on the mainstream side.
yeah,
Daripada God was good.
yeah, true. And I was the laid back dude, I would say, dekat TT.
Diorang lagi semua serious ke?
Diorang very serious about things, but macam kalau like they still crack jokes, diorang still like, you know, have fun and shit, but
Yeah.
macam in terms of work, diorang serious. Yeah. And like outside of work, diorang like just like normal people lah. Like have fun, you know, like just be out there, you know.
Yeah. So but another follow-up question to that is just like you guys also had a little bit of a, because once you were reaching more of the mainstream audiences and you guys were like macam blowing up of the rompak sound stuff.
Yeah.
I think dengan Nicaragua you had a small arrangement dengan a label.
Yeah. True.
That was like the breakthrough lah kan.
Yeah. The breakthrough. Yeah.
So how was it like different? Your experience just making shit by yourselves and getting the numbers by yourself. Emas got shit ton of numbers, and I don't think you guys even
I
expected
think the
that.
first million among our peers.
Yeah,
I think
that type of impact. Where I first saw these group of kids and just doing it by themselves really reached that amount of numbers. And then I'm guessing, I don't know where it evolved, tapi the kind of impact from that and Nicaragua is similar lah.
Yeah, because I don't want to brag, but I'm the one yang QCing like things that I produce for them. You know, like Nicaragua, Lu Tahu Tu, Emas. You know, I was the backbone. So macam aku yang control lah, quality control those songs.
How is it different working by yourselves and working with Def Jam?
It's the same process, only that Def Jam gave us
Resources.
yes.
But what did they gain in return from that?
I think 30% split. Yeah.
So
And-
resources dia bagi berapa? This is I like to ask about this, and I've asked a lot of artists who are signed macam, what the fuck is the role of the label again? Like really to distinguish what you gain from the arrangement against what you give back to them.
I won't tell you the specific amount, but better go independent lah.
So that's the thing. Like the main upper consideration for me, I think, if you are an artist and whether you not want to get signed, is for me is just the music videos.
Yeah.
To be honest, because quality in music is hard to distinguish if you are a normal listener. Orang tak kisah sangat your production quality 100% on top or not. But for videos, it's easy to distinguish as a normal listener, you know, normal fan. They can say, oh, this one is high budget, this one's low budget. So I think when labels come in and they provide you the resources, the best kind of resources that artists really gain is like macam top-notch videos.
Yeah.
That is hard to make independently, or at least not paying the videographers proper amount. So I think definitely the video quality between Emas and Lu Tahu Tu ke Nicaragua?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is like completely different.
Yeah, it is completely different, but it's from the same videographer.
Yeah.
Only that during Emas, we did not pay them.
Yalah. Obviously, once you pay your artists, the people that you collaborate with, videographers or whoever, they're going to have like a crazy output or more quality output.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah.
the videographer is my neighbor.
Yeah.
Like we're friends, so it's like basically
It's possible lah.
working with friends, but with budget and without budget. So
Yeah.
that's the outcome of
And
it.
at the end of the day, you still think, despite the resources and despite being able to work with friends, you still think it's better to just not have the involvement of Def Jam.
Yeah, I would
Sebab
say
apa sebenarnya?
because I think if there's potential in your collective to go fully independent, then go ahead. You don't really need labels or anyone to like manage you.
Yeah.
Tapi I think the time when you need a label bila you have no basis in publishing. I mean,
that's
when you want to macam
really own what you put out.
like in terms of licensing and radio, and then
Yeah.
contoh kalau you believe in yourself and you think you have the potential untuk bertanding dalam any awards and macam AJL, and
You need to sign out.
not necessarily lah, unless kalau your friends really establish and register his company or her company dengan RPM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then I think you can just go with your friends lah. But kalau tak ada, I think you could get a management artist and then get it registered untuk AJL.
I think those things, I mean, aside from resources, just like management and, you know, licensing and stuff like that, if you are as an artist, you're confident in your work, I think it wouldn't be too difficult for you to learn those things lah.
It's
Because
just tedious job.
it's just administrative jobs lah. You know, like if you're not able to do it, if you don't want to do it also, then you get either label or management or whatever the fuck. But like, it's not impossible for artists to do it themselves. I think the main criteria for labels to just come in is the fact that they have a fat load of money to be able to like invest in your product to make it
They just have
supposedly
templates,
better potential, you know.
resources.
But if you're like signed to label, doesn't mean that you'll go big, you know.
I don't think there's any assurance of it. I think the only assurance is that you got a budget.
Even if they they invest like a lot of money into yourself as a product. If the music is
shit.
If the music is shit, the music is shit. I mean, obviously the label is supposed to control that because it becomes their responsibility. But no matter how much money you throw at it, it's not going to change.
But
right?
there'll be a limitation to it because you're signed in labels. So there is limitation to it because they want to make music that can sell. You know?
True.
Like you can't do hyperpop.
I mean that I don't know, because sometimes you have that creative barrier. I mean, okay, I say Malaysian labels.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously outside there's a lot of labels that allow you to be more experimental and want to encourage that. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people, a lot of artists who have said that they have been creatively blocked by their labels because it doesn't traditionally sell lah. But that's the thing. In my head, macam, if you guys got the attention of the labels first, because they reached out to you when you were making stupid numbers. It's not like they reached out to you when you had like 1,000 listeners, which they're supposed to do, right? 1,000 views. Yeah. What labels are supposed to do is they have scouts and A&Rs and stuff. They're supposed to find potential huge artists when they have like 1,000 views on YouTube or stuff like that, and then they're supposed to make them blow up because they believe in the potential of the product. But they got TT and when you guys are already making 1.5 million views on one single. Betul lah?
Yeah.
Which is like difficult to get in the first place. So they come in and they're like, I'm going to do a bargain. I'm going to get 30% of your video and I'm going to give you a certain amount of money. Tak tahulah 10,000 or 20,000 or whatever for the video. But I want 30% of the potential numbers. A lot of artists don't really see the potential of the revenue from the views, right? Only 1 or 2% who like handle the YouTube account lah.
Yeah.
So it's not really like that widely known, right? Actually, kalau kita orang do this video ourselves, we can get 3 million views. This is how much money we'll make. Versus the 30% we're giving out to the labels.
I would like to say to the audience, pay your producer and
that's another thing lah. There's another thing about collectors is that kalau korang tak ada shit on paper, like labels actually have the paperwork, you know. But if you're collectives and you're just a bunch of friends, there are potential for you not to actually have paperwork and signed and shit for you to get money.
Like some people, like okay, let's say if you don't want to pay the producer, at least like split the royalties, you know. So
I mean,
like it's all being fair.
Dalam making a track dekat industry pun, I think the most pies yang akan get would be the producer lah. Traditionally, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally, yeah. But I don't think like people understand the concept of it, of the music making and the hard work and effort to it.
Okay. No, Ella, I mean, I understand. Like the whole show also, I keep bitching. I don't even have a lot of artists on the podcast, you know. It's more about just people behind the scenes who, I mean, one way or another don't become the star of the show, but they really provide the artistic blueprint of what things should be. And unfortunately, I mean, producers are not as like it's like a bit underappreciated within the whole scheme, especially with labels, because they don't fucking understand anything right now. In my opinion, so but I don't give them credit for anything. They don't do anything good. Cuba cakap sikit, diorang bayar kau berapa?
No, I don't want to say it.
Jam.
I don't want to say it. Yeah. But yeah, pay your producers. Yeah.
I mean, kalau traditionally, I think dalam buat lagu mainstream pun, producer akan macam commission sessionist and arranger. Then the producer himself or herself akan bayar that sessionist.
Yeah.
Then the splits mostly akan goes to the producer lah.
Yeah.
Tapi right now at this age macam producer
It's more of like a beat maker role.
more of a beat maker.
So I talked to Farah Fazil in an early episode. She's basically becoming a producer of her own, but for music video. I mean, not for videos, for corporate videos and stuff like that. Right. And what her role as a producer is essentially macam scheduling and project management, making shit happen of the project. You know, not necessarily
make things,
editing the video or whatever. So. But for music sense, I think more and more people are understanding that producer is like the beat maker or like the person who makes the song, because you can do it all by yourself. But back then, dulu when you want to make a song, you have to have like guitar, people who make certain instruments, or and the person who's responsible to make that shit happen was the producer lah.
Yeah.
But the direction of the actual song ultimately and usually lies on the actual producer. Because without it, then you don't really have shit to complement the singer. It's just they're not really doing it.
Tapi it's fair to say, macam artists themselves juga yang help narrate the direction.
Yeah, I mean for sure at that point, because the one that people pay attention to is not the producer.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I mean, like
I think they complement one another.
Yeah.
And should macam Izzad cakap, just pay fairly.
How do you want to ensure that?
I've done like 4 digits punya work with label.
Yeah.
With label. And there are also some labels yang like trying to lowball me. Like even though I like give my rate card and shit. So, and there are also labels like big labels yang don't really care about payments. So macam for me it's not fair as a producer yang buat everything, because like I made the beat, I did the arrangement, mixing, mastering. So
but how are people supposed to differentiate you as a producer in comparison to any other producer yang reti guna like softwares?
I mean
but obviously it's hard to like, unless you have producer tags in the song, it's hard to really distinguish producers as an artist by themselves.
For me, producers will always stay as producers. That like for example, if there's a label contract, they will like tell you what to do. For example, like, okay, you make this beat and then you mix and master, and then they will give you like the direction and the amount of money that they will give you. But they don't really
holding back, right?
They did okay. They don't really see the
creative value.
The creative value, the hard work in it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
pissed off.
Yeah.
Dia macam programmer dalam IT lah, I think.
Yeah.
Diorang really undervalued in this time pun. I think programmer kat luar sana stay strong. I think diorang really undervalued and underpaid. Yeah. Just like producers in this music scene.
Yeah.
Just want to check. Dan, you check if it's still running. I mean, I don't know, because a lot of it becomes contrived. There's a lot of things that with the relationships with big corporate people, they just overlook a lot of like the creatives that are involved, even especially the behind the scenes people. And I don't know, like generally I tend to tell my artist friends or musicians, or even actually, I don't know, like artists, like artists, if you get a chance to work with corporate bodies, don't sign at least, like don't sign something that says, okay, because at the end of the day, we've come to a point where everybody can do the marketing and can do the production and can do the I don't know, polishing by themselves. It's just the amount of work that you want to put in, or you finding your own people to collaborate with. Contohnya like cover artists or whoever that's like around your area that can do the things that you cannot do. What the labels really just give you at the end of the day is resources and money.
Yeah.
But the bargain is you have to sign a lot of the creative freedom and a lot of like maybe relationships and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, if you have your own audience, I would not recommend you to like work with label.
Yeah.
Because like unless you have like music business background, if you like study music or something, then it won't be a risk for you to sign.
Yeah, because at least you can argue back the contract.
You know your shit.
Yeah.
But if you have
Most
your
artists
own,
cannot.
yeah, and if you have your own audience, you can do it independently, no problem, and you'll generate more money.
Yeah,
I can say that.
Betul though. I mean, like, let's take an example like YouTubers. Most I don't think there's a signing body for.
I think ada management.
For management ada, yeah. For YouTubers, definitely they have management, but I don't think there's like a corporate like body that signs away like 5 to 10 YouTubers.
Yeah.
But for some reason they can just do it, because they garner the viewership themselves. They make the content themselves. When at the end of the day, they get the money themselves. It's like direct. They own the account. They own the bank account that the money goes to.
I mean, they'll have their own team.
Yeah. I mean, they can make it themselves. So what use do we have of labels nowadays?
Yeah.
I think labels macam important untuk kita go through corporate punya
administrative shit lah.
Because that's where the actual money.
Yeah, because honestly, these type of things, like I feel like, contoh for Safe House, we can do like a discussion panel or something like that, where we just say, workshop, how to publish your music, workshop 101. And you go through all the fucking paperwork and you go all through the steps and people pay like 20, 30. Yeah lah, because it's the boring part of music. But if you want to get paid, you have to do the boring shit.
Itu I think most of us macam tahu music, how to make music, tapi have the least knowledge on music business, I think.
Yeah, in business in general, art in general. Because artists, that's what I'm saying, like when artists don't usually think about shit other than their art. Artists just want to think about their art.
I think bila dah bercampur, I think that's when dorang dapat creative block and demotivated and burn out. It costs me a lot sometimes, because when you try to do something by yourself or with your friends, it will somehow catch up the burnout. So be careful out there lah.
How are you guys feeling about your state right now? Like independent musician. I mean, I don't know. Are you independent fully?
I would say I'm independent, but I have the Slatan boys.
Itu tak kira lah. That's like
independent as in tak signed to any corporate body.
Yeah.
Just me and my friends.
How does it feel?
Music. It feels great. Like we have our own direction. I mean, we have a vision.
Yeah.
Like the 1 billion.
Idea.
Okay, so let's jump into that. So we were talking about like a good 2.5 hours earlier, and Baq has been bugging me. I swear to God, it's been like a month and a half or 2 months or whatever. Basically, if you go to the website, there's some sort of like initiative or system structure that he's trying to pitch that involves blockchain and internet and technology and shit, which the Slatan boys have put in an effort to, for the hopes of giving value into art. in a way where it benefits all parties and it doesn't seem so forced. Betul. The main point is that you don't have to tell consumers, buy art and give value to art. It's more about getting a seamless transaction where they can feel the value without actually being forced to. So in terms of art, they can sell the art. They have a project in mind where they sell the project and artistic project, and the consumers don't just support financially the project, but they also gain some sort of ownership and other benefits and perks from that project. Am I correct?
Yeah, but then the idea is untuk crowdfund the project, but not in a way to forcibly sell the idea to crowdfund it. Just that people are willing to spend money on us, so this money will be used into our new project. Then we have to get it in a big amount of it.
Yeah.
So in a way, the idea untuk crowdfund it is from selling things.
Yeah. I mean, the system that you want to put in place is that to ensure that all bodies who are credited and who are part of this project get compensated fairly, to ensure that this shit happens. And I think it relates a little bit to Izzad punya being frustrated that producers or himself did not get paid from some previous arrangement. And it makes sense that because there's no way, contohnya kita kalau say for sebuah event, there's no way for artists that were part of that event do not vape. There's no way that people are part of a certain event, like the Atas Maulana event, to say that Safe House collected the money from the consumers for ticket sales and nothing to ensure that Safe House actually paid all of the artists. Correct or not?
Yeah.
So it's something that says kind of solidifies the relationship for contributors to a project and how they get compensated fairly. I think this is the ideal goal of the project, of the solution.
Simply put, macam tu lah. Redistribute the things that we get.
And this opens up a doorway into how these things and systems will be implemented. And I think there's a lot of talk about cryptocurrency and what came from that, the NFTs. Basically just online.
Yeah, I think cryptocurrency per se just help to accelerate the coordination and how it is foolproof and perfectly publicly verifiable by anyone yang nak access to it.
Yeah. I mean the conversation opens up and how Malaysians in general or the creative industry in Malaysia has accepted or really adapted to these online blockchain technologies.
Yeah.
Have they? Because I don't see any artist in Malaysia that's really adapted to it and selling macam Beeple art, selling $69 million worth of one piece of art. Right?
It's just scam.
You can call it what you want, but it's an NFT.
Because the Beeple pun part of the wallet atau the chain yang allows the transaction to happen. So you get the idea.
Yeah. And how has Malaysians adapted to it? So but korang seem to be no one else, honestly. I've had this podcast. No one else has really approached me to talk about these new advancements in technology and how it redefines art and the value of art. So korang, except for you guys, utilizing this for the solution. So how do you guys see that people are going to betul-betul, receive this and implement it in buying or transacting art?
I think the tech too more or less help providing the bookkeeping and bagi safety net untuk the ones yang contribute. Then make new value, I think. Sebab macam the last time I read pasal CIMB dengan Ripple punya kerjasama, they just CIMB just pakai Ripple punya network untuk easekan transaction. So bukan in a way macam CIMB invest in Ripple or buying the tons of Ripple coins. So I think the idea is to have that untuk menyenangkan people to get what they deserve.
But how many people in Malaysia are actually utilizing these technologies? Because for me, number one, I don't have crypto. Number two, I don't think I'm even aware of how these things are utilized for me to be able to be participating in it. I don't know if a lot of people in Malaysia in general are.
Maybe start off with an introduction and like by clarifying things about what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Showing the use case lah and the real use case of it. Macam dalam CIMB tu pun orang pakai untuk send app, untuk senangkan the remittance, untuk hantar duit from here to there in a split second without tunggu clearance from this bank or dengan bank outside of the country. So it can just happen in a split second. I mean that's the idea of it lah. Untuk macam contoh you pay me 100 NFT and then automatically people involved in the said project yang you bought for akan automatically get the portion of it instead of orang kena tunggu us.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, I completely understand, like, you know, these things exist and how it may be, you know, used by banks or bigger financial institutions. But the general public, I'm talking about the general public, you know,
the general could adopt.
The general public, could, but do they right now? What is the situation with it right now? I don't, like, from your level, do you and most of your friends get involved in these type of things?
Some. Tapi I think untuk public, macam untuk like people like us, more towards using the NFT lah instead of the cryptocurrency token, because what NFT brings is just the ownership, the proof of identity. You know, when you sign in dekat website, you have to sign in pakai Gmail ke atau Twitter ke. This is the same thing as what NFT could bring, prove your identity on this chain.
So for art's sake, it kind of macam, because art is so easily macam reproducible and copy pasted across the internet. Giving NFT is just giving some sort of like macam stamp of verification that you own a certain kind of thing online. Am I understanding this?
Yes.
Simply put,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So and to macam, I mean, but like for music, for example, right? Like you don't need a concept of NFT. I guess for the song, it owns the artist. But I guess where the idea comes from to really redistribute the credits properly is towards the behind the scenes people who like produce the song and say, okay, I own a certain portion of this song. Am I correct with this one?
Yes. Contoh macam I produce a single and the people involved is contoh Izzad and contoh macam Ame. Then I sold this song dekat corporate bodies, so I can ask them to pay me through macam this address dekat pakai crypto, and then the same time I could provide the NFT untuk Izzad and Ame, so they both could verify themselves without going through me as multi-signature, and they could get the money terus.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more about empowering the artists, the creatives that are involved in certain body of work to really like say, okay, this is where the credit lies. But was there an issue with credit system beforehand? Macam, I mean, usually when you go to like Rap Genius or whatever, dekat bawah tu dia ada tulis lyrics, composer, writer, whatever, producer,
attributes.
All the credits there. Is there an issue with that now, the system that it is now? Or is it once it becomes on the internet, it just becomes too difficult to handle?
I think contextually, this use case is supposed to be used by bodies macam yang handle licensing. macam MACP, RPM, PPM.
Okay.
So the best thing to happen now is how artists themselves pakai, how they practice this value, this fair distribution. I mean, properly credit diorang punya peers, diorang punya engineers and all that.
Yeah.
So bila this thing macam sekarang pun faith in label memang dah diminished. Memang tak ada siapa pun.
I don't know. Now, bukan tadi kau bawa cerita that some rapper just signed to some record label lah.
Huh?
Tadi earlier today.
So, I think it's a good practice lah.
Yeah.
It has to start now lah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I obviously agree lah. Like, there's no way that we can ensure that everybody gets paid fairly and compensated as they should. What I keep trying to talk about by myself is just give out the message that, okay, people have to like value art in a way where everybody gets paid, and artists, I mean, before we ask the fans to pay for our work, we ourselves as artists should be able to pay for other friends' works, you know? And I guess it's always a difficult process to make and decision to make when we can't really understand where our money really goes to and what it does for us. It's for us to like macam subconsciously put value into it. So if you guys give something that says certain ownership of a certain work, or I don't know, perks and benefits that you guys can offer, maybe people can see the purchasing as something more than just the art itself. Right? You guys want to give like sense of ownership and I don't know, like something larger than what it is right now.
Dia tak more to macam ownership sangat. It just you get to be involved in the process. You get to see how it's designed, how these people work behind the scene, or kalau orang give a fuck about it lah.
Yeah.
But it's just
okay.
give the insight of how things done. So in that way, I believe that people boleh start value things. Macam mana.
Faham. Okay. Yeah. I see it now. It's more about just like enlightening people to the body of art and what makes it instead of just as it is.
Yes.
It's not just a song you play on the radio. It's also 15,000 hours in the studio. It's also the collaborative nature of producer and singer. It's also marketing. It's also management.
I think it happens dekat IT punya ecosystem, in IT punya world, because I think programmer, whatever programmer, web programmer, software engineer ke, diorang put lots of hours, diorang bunch of big brains yang really put where the mouth is.
Yeah.
Really macam beta testing it, stress testing it before it launched to the public. So at the end of the day, orang just pakai. Macam Grab pun, orang macam bengar kenapa makin mahal, makin mahal.
But they don't
Get
understand.
the idea. They don't understand how hard it is to simplify the design. You know, the best design is the invisible design.
Faham.
So,
but if you're saying that if I put in that value, or if I pay for it, for example, then I get to see the whole world like be part of the.
If you want to, but
the
you
process.
Get to know kau tahu yang my money goes also, the portion of it goes to the one yang create this. So
okay. It's not simply just a credit system lah. It also puts the consumer in to be able to see all of the process.
Yeah. That way lah. Betul lah.
Okay, faham. I didn't faham just now.
Macam kalau dalam web biasa, okay, can we talk about web biasa dengan the web yang infuse blockchain. So dalam web biasa macam Facebook semua, you are the product, you know?
Right.
Kau punya like semua determine how
they sell to advertisers.
How it's sold to advertisement punya body.
Yeah.
Kalau macam things yang infused with blockchain, they call Web3.
Yeah.
Product, people first, baru product. You know, they attract the people untuk use the ecosystem, and the people get to choose what product is going to turn out.
Yeah.
So I think it's the best and the hardest part of revolt. Macam mana cakap? Untuk macam enlighten people how things actually work in this world. Yeah.
Especially for art lah. Okay, understanding. Okay. I think we've passed the 1 hour mark. That's quite fast. Yeah, so I think I'll just put a cap on this for now, and then maybe we can have a part 2 to really talk about
Sure.
this idea, because it does seem more interesting now that I know a little bit more about it. Because honestly, like it's hard for me to like pinpoint exactly why people in Malaysia cannot really pay a certain amount of money for art, even though they regularly enjoy it and consume it.
Yeah.
And I think people just don't see the value in it the same way that they see other commodities that they purchase. But I guess if you enlighten people through insights like what really makes a product what it is, instead of just simply,
Consume it.
consuming it and whatever, dancing to it or whatever, then it might actually provide a larger form of value towards the actual song or
Actually,
graphic design or movie and
plus
whatnot.
people get to be involved in creating the product, not entirely untuk arts lah.
Yeah, faham. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a decision-making process, but it's also
Yes. Bukan lah untuk governance
yeah.
saja, but then you get the idea. People first, then product.
Yeah, that's a good way to end things off. Yeah, thank you. I think the conversation definitely has a lot to today. Definitely has a lot to do with just like compensating and really appreciating the people involved in art making processes, and how Malaysia in general is like lagging behind. I see a lot of labels and record labels in another. There's a lot of record labels that I really like look up to and see that they're really pushing boundaries and putting the artists as like on top of the food chain, like where they should be, like, especially for corporate labels like that. But unfortunately, the people here, the labels and companies in Malaysia don't.
Encourage the listeners or the consumers to really appreciate what
It is,
it is.
It is what it is.
So thank you everyone. Thank you Baq, thank you Izzad, and
Thank you,
good
Seb House.
riddance to TT on the Move. Farewell.
That's mean.
Thank you, TT on the Move.
That was Safe House You presents Mulu Murai. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye bye.
Peace.